Hi all, if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira and my channel is all about trying new makeup, talking about new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you'll consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed today's video, hitting the like button. Today, guys, we are continuing on with my beginning of the year-ish declutter series, and we are moving on to probably, I've combined these categories, so it's going to be quite extensive. Pause for the, there we go. It's going to be quite extensive because I like to do sort of like the categories of the makeup together. So today we are tackling blush, bronzer, highlighter. It's a lot. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so these are all of my bronzers. Bring them further into view. These are all of my bronzers. So as you can see, I have a decent amount. I don't have a ton of powder bronzers any longer. I do have some face palettes that I'll probably be going through at some point, but as far as like individual broad powder bronzers, I don't have a ton. Most of these are creams because I have become a cream bronzer gal. Okay, I'm a cream bronzer girl, so this is what we're working with. First up, let's talk about what's not getting decluttered. My NARS creamy bronzers. These aren't going anywhere. These are my faves. So I have it in the original Laguna, which is in my current, is this in my current one or is it in my last month's one? No, this is in last month's, my January capsule. And this is Laguna, so this is the original and this is Laguna 3. I'll show you what they look like so you can see the difference. So this is what the OG Laguna, as you can see, I've gotten a lot of use out of that. That is the original one. Love it. And then this is Laguna 3. Much warmer. Gotten a lot of use out of that too. Love these both. They are not going anywhere. And then I have my Liz Beauty. And this is it's called the No Limits Bronzing and Contour Stick. So I think you can use this for contouring as well. Obviously from the name, but I only use it for bronzing. And I have it in the shade Harmony. Love this, one of my faves as well, not going anywhere. Currently in my February makeup capsule is my Say Beauty cream bronzer, the Sun Melt cream bronzer in medium bronze. Looks like that. I've gotten a lot of use out of that. That's not going anywhere. And then I have my NARS Paradise Found bronzing powder. I love this. This is probably my favorite powder bronzer. Love it. Beautiful. Not going anywhere. And then I have this new one from e.l.f., which is their Luminous Putty Bronzer, and I really enjoyed this and I want to get more use out of this. This was in, I had thrown this in my January makeup capsule just to get use out of it because I was testing it out, but I'm keeping this and I think I'm going to maybe throw this in a future capsule as well to get more use out of it because I really enjoyed that. What I will be getting rid of, since I'm speaking on that one, is the matte version of it, which is this one here. And it's just not as, I don't think the formula is as good. And I find this to be quite hard to, like, it gives a very natural bronze. And I tend to like a little bit more, like I like natural. I like something that that's light, that I can build up as I see fit, but I have a really hard time building this up. So I'm going to get rid of this because I think that the Luminous version is a superior product. I will also be getting rid of my Tower 28 Bronzino in West Coast. I just don't use this, and the last time I used it, I was not, you know how you buy something and when you first use it, you're like, oh, I really love this, and then you don't use it for a while and you go back to it and then you try it and you're like, well, why did I ever like this? Why did I purchase this? It's kind of how I feel about this. It's very, like, the color is beautiful. The color is beautiful, but it's just very sticky, you know? It's very sticky. It feels more like a balm, almost like an ointment, like a thin ointment, as opposed to a cream. and it's sticky on the skin. Whereas I feel like with my my other cream bronzers, that's not an issue for me. So yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of this because I don't like it. I will also be getting rid of this Fenty cream bronzer in Honey Glaze. Looks like this. Don't love the shade. I'm not really a fan of the brand anymore, so I don't see myself. There's a couple of products that I have that I'm probably gonna finish up, but I don't really see myself repurchasing anything from the brand. And this, I purchased this along with the shade Macchiato, and I actually panned Macchiato, and I really liked that one. This one I'm not as big of a fan of, and these were the first cream bronzers that I ever tried, like ever. And I've since tried a lot more, and I don't think this is actually that great of a formula, so I'm gonna do away with this. And then I have my last two powder bronzers, and I have the Kevyn Aucoin Neo Bronzer in the shade Sundown Deep. I don't use this enough, but look how beautiful that is. And it's what I like. If I'm gonna have a powder bronzer, I like it to have a little bit of shimmer, a little something, which the Paradise Found has. So I am going to be keeping this because I think I'm gonna throw this in a capsule this year and really get some more use out of this because it actually is a really beautiful bronzer. And then finally, I have my Cover FX in Sundown Deep. This is another one that I think I want to use and see if I still like, because I haven't used it in ages and I don't know, and I don't want to get rid of it yet. I want to try it out, and I want to actually see if I like it. And then if I still do, I'll keep it. But if not, it'll probably go out in the next declutter, which I said in my first video, but I will reiterate here. I do 2 declutters a year. I do one at the beginning and one mid-year. So if this doesn't get any use, or I use it and I realize I don't like it, I will get rid of it in the mid-year declutter. That is bronzers done and dusted, and that is probably the smallest part of this video as far as collection goes, because I feel like my bronzer collection isn't that wild. So yeah, we're done with that. Now let's go into, this is where things are gonna get, they're gonna get crunk, guys, because we're gonna get into my blushes. Okay guys, so this is all of my blush collection here. It's a lot. Some of it's off camera. I have no shame. I don't care that it's a lot. I used to not be a blush girl, and in the past year or so I have very much become a blush girl. So I don't mind having a large collection. I'll probably always have a large collection. I just ordered a new blush, one of the new Danessa Myricks ones, which I'm very excited, and you'll see that in a video. So yeah, lots of blush, but we're gonna go through because there are things in here that I want to consider winnowing down. Okay, so let's start with my LYS Beauties. So these are relatively new. Very pretty. I've used this one, which is Grateful, a ton. This was in my January makeup capsule. I love this shade, and it's not going anywhere. The second shade that I've used the most of this 3, because this came as like a holiday trio, is the shade Empower. It looks really deep, but it's so pretty on the skin. And then the one that I haven't actually used, and I haven't actually been that excited to use, is the shade Unforgettable. And I will show you it here. It is brand spanking new. And honestly, guys, I think I am going to actually get rid of this. Not because I dislike the formula. I love this formula. I just don't think this color is for me. So this is going, of the trio, I kept 2. I think that's pretty good. This is going to be Decluttered. Look at me. Next up, on the declutter side of things, is this Estee Lauder Pure Color Envy Flatters All Cheek Color in Rebellious Rose. This is what the packaging looks like. Very pretty. The inside was a flower. It still is a flower, just kind of like a used flower. I just don't reach for this anymore, and I don't find that I like the formula as much as I did. It's very creamy to the touch, but I have actual cream like blushes that are of this similar tone that I like the formula of more, and this just has been neglected in my collection. So I'm just gonna pass it along. And then I have my two Fenty Cream blushes. This is hard for me because I do actually really like these, and I'm thinking that I might keep them and try to finish them off. If I can open them with my claws. Come on, baby. So this is the shade Cool Berry. As you can see, it's very used, but I don't have a shade like this. I have a Cover FX powder blush that is similar, but not the same. And I love this tone, and it's got a little bit of sheen to it. So this one, I'm gonna keep. The one that I'm on the fence about keeping is this one here, which is the shade Rose Latte. Beautiful shade, right? This is my jam. This is my like jam. So this one is like a brownie rosy. Look how pretty that is. So pretty. But I also have this Tower 28 one that kind of does the same thing, and I like the formula more. So this is what they look like. Similar, not the same, but similar. But the tone is just different enough where I'm like, maybe I need both. This one's definitely more brown, while this one is definitely more like mauve, pinky undertone. Like more pinky undertone, not mauve, but more pinky undertone. And this one has more brown undertone. This is my conundrum, guys. I prefer the Tower 28 formula. I think it's a better formula, a superior formula. But that brown tone in this one is what gives me pause. Let me think on it. This one is not going anywhere. My Tower 28 is not going anywhere. I love this blush, but I need to think about if I really need Rose Latte in my life. I haven't used it in ages, but that's mainly because I've been sort of stuck on certain products, and that's why I'm doing a makeup capsule this year, a monthly makeup capsule, because I do want to like cycle things out and get more use out of everything in my collection, and that's a good way to do it. So maybe I could put this in a capsule, see how I feel about it. And I might do that. Actually, I am going to do that. I'm going to hold on to this for now. And I'm going to put it in a capsule. I don't know if it's going to be next month or the months after that. I have to see. I sort of play it by ear with my capsules. I don't plan ahead too much. Sometimes I should. I'm not even going to lie. But maybe I'll throw this in a capsule. Actually, I will. I'll throw this in a capsule between now and mid-year, and and it'll give me a chance to get some use out of it and really see how I feel about it and see if it's worth keeping. Next up is this Gen C Beauty Clean Sheen Cheek Lip Color in the shade Apple. It is a red tone. I've shown this in a video before. It's beautiful. This is not a shade I reach for a ton, but it's a shade that I don't really have here, and I like it as an option. It's very bright, which can seem very intimidating, but when you put it on your cheeks, it's actually just this really beautiful, like rosy, flush, natural tone, kind of like you've been out in the cold, or you were blushing a lot, like actually blushing, or you were running, something like, you know what I mean? Like if you have, it kind of just gives that natural like blood rushing to the cheeks look, which is actually really pretty. So I'm gonna see if I can get more use out of this maybe in the warmer months. And if not, by the mid-year, I will declutter this. Then I have my Chantecaille. This isn't going anywhere. I love this blush. I don't use it a ton anymore. I used to use it all the time. But it's one of those tones. It looks so light on, but it just gives the skin such this beautiful, natural, subtle glow, like rosy glow, not too pinky. This looks really light, but it applies to my skin so nicely. It's just it's one of those products that is very unassuming, but does so much when you use it. And it was mega expensive as well. So this isn't going anywhere. It's a beautiful blush. Also not going anywhere are my two Armani Neo Nude. I prefer this one to this one as far as color goes, but I'm not getting rid of this one because I can still make it work. And I think this formula is beautiful and I love it, and I am not getting rid of these. My newest one of my newest items as far as blush goes is the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush. I got this at the same time I got the bronzer, and this is in the shade Barbados. This is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to use this in the summer as well, because when you know, the summer, your skin's a little, like, I wear sunscreen, but we all get a little bit more tan in the summer, despite, even when you're using sunscreen. And so I would love to see what this is going to look like on my skin when I've got a little sun. And yeah, I mean, it's beautiful, and it's got a little bit of shimmer to it. Love it. My Clinique Cheek Pop in Black Honey Pop. I've said how I feel about this. I know so many people are obsessed with these. I think this is a good blush. I'm not getting rid of it. I enjoy having it in my collection. I enjoy wearing it. I just think it's kind of overrated, but I also still think it's a good blush. I'm not trying to offend you guys who love these blushes or call you out. I think it's a solid blush. I just think the formula is a bit overrated. That's all I'm saying. This is also one of the newer. I bought this around the same time I bought the e.l.f. And this is the NYX Sweet Cheeks, what do they call it? Creamy powder blush in the shade Summer Breeze. I just started using this. I added it to my February makeup capsule. I've used it, I think, once now, and I liked it. I was actually surprised, because the first time I swatched this, I wasn't really that impressed by the formula, the way it swatched on my hand. It swatched kind of patchy, but on the face, it's actually quite pretty. So this is in my February makeup capsule. I will continue to use this. It's nice. My two Milani blushes, I like these. I'm kind of like not on the Milani train right now, because they did some stuff in the spring that I've just felt really uncouth and really quite unprofessional, as far as stuff that they did on social media during a certain trial that I found really quite tacky, and it turned me off quite a bit. So I haven't purchased anything new, but I'm not getting rid of these because I love them, but they're just kind of on my side eye list right now. But I do love these blushes, and this one you can't get anymore, so I'm definitely keeping that. Then I have my 3 Pat McGraths. I think if I were to declutter one, it would probably be Electric Bloom, but I'm still not decluttering it. This is what she looks like. She's super bright. I don't use this one as much as the others. It's still really beautiful. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll declutter it. I just can't bring myself to do it now, and it won't happen. The next one is Paradise Venus. Beautiful. Don't use this one as much as the other one that we're gonna see, but you guys know that already. If you watch this channel on a regular basis, you know what's coming next, and you know it's not going anywhere. This is Paradise Venus, and I actually really like this color. It's like it kind of reminds me a bit of like a slightly lighter version of Rosé Latte, slightly warmer, more terracotta version of that one, but in powder. And then my favorite blush of all time, my baby, my boo, Desert Orchid. Love her. She's the girl. She's the moment. She doesn't go anywhere. Next up are the 2 About Face Beauty blushes I bought over the, I think when I buy these, Black Friday, something like that, holiday season, I don't know. So the first one is Smash, and this is the one I've used. I've used a ton. This was actually in my January makeup capsule. I like this formula. A lot of people mention that I'm of a rarity, that I like this formula, but I look at the reviews online, and the reviews are about along the lines that my reviews of it are. Like, regular folks tend to like it. I know that a lot of the makeup community, like the influencer community, didn't, but I don't know. I guess I'm an outlier in that sense, but I'm not an outlier in the sense of this formula being pretty decent. The next one is Cowgirl. I've only swatched this one. This is like, for me, a summer shade, so I'm really excited to use this in the summer because I love this formula, and this color is stunning. It's like orange, and I love it, and I can't wait to use it, so this will stay. And then my 2 favorite orange blushes are these 2 babies. So first up, let's talk about this one, which really isn't orange. It's more like peachy. This is M Cosmetics Faded Clementine. This is in my top 5 blushes that I own. I love this blush. I haven't used it a ton recently because, again, this is one of those shades that I tend to reach for more in the summer, but I love it so much. It's got shimmer. It's got shimmer, and it just gives, it's one of those formulas that builds up so nicely. It's very light, but as you can build it up and get it more and more intense. You don't go, it's not like pigment as soon as you put it on your face. It's a slow burn. You can build it up and get a really beautiful glow and finish from this. I love this blush. It goes nowhere. Next up is Persimmon, which I believe is limited edition. She looks like this, and I took a chunk of it out with my nail. I'm very sad about that. That happened a while ago, but this is orange. Like, this is orange, and she's beautiful. She's stunning. She's got shimmer. She's a summer shade as well for me. I don't tend to reach for orange blushes that much in the winter months. It's just not a shade that I'm really attracted to in the winter months as far as makeup goes. But I love it in the spring and summer. So, and even the fall. So this one is, it's gotten a lot of views, and it will continue to get a lot of views. I think it's beautiful. And then here is one that is brand spanking new, and I showed you guys this in my haul, and I haven't used it since I bought it, but there's a reason for that. Look at it. It's orange, guys. It's orange. And what did I just say about orange? I don't really wear it in the winter. So I got this, and then I haven't reached for it, but that's okay because it's not going anywhere, and I will reach for it in the spring and summer. And I'm really intrigued by this tone here because I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, these tones are so different, and this is a blush compact, so I'm just really intrigued by this. This is by Fashion Fair, by the way. This is Fashion Fair, and it is the Lush Blush Duo in Chocolate Chip. And I think like this would work really well for deeper skin tones. So we'll see. I have to blend it out, but I am very intrigued by this, and I'm excited to try it out come summer. Next up, I have my two Melt blushes, and I have my powder blush in the shade Honey Thief. Love this. It looks super light, but it is very pigmented. It's very similar to the Chantecaille in that way, in that it looks really light, but it packs a punch once you actually put it on your skin. And then I have my cream one, which is the Cream Blush Light in Sandy Cheeks. Love this. This almost went into my makeup capsule this month, but I swapped it out for the NYX one since that was new and I hadn't used it. But I love this one, and this is like it's more of a coral than an orange. It may look more orange on camera. I can't tell, but it is very much like a peachy coral. I then have this Ofra blush bronzer duo in the shade Unit. I haven't used this in ages, and I do like it, but I don't really shop from Ofra anymore for reasons. If you're on social media back in the day, a couple of years ago, you probably know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to get into it. But I don't shop from them, and I don't really feature them on my channel. So because of that, I haven't really reached for this. Part of me wants to use it again because I spent my money on it, but also part of me just kind of wants to do away with it. So I think I'm just going to do away with it. Next up is my Chanel Le Beige Eau de Blush Water Fresh Blush. In the shade, what shade is this? Deep Apricot. I haven't used this a lot, guys. I've used this a couple times. I still don't know how I feel about it. It's one of those products where I'm like, do I hate you or do I like you? I don't know, but I think I just need to get more use out of it. So I'm going to hold on to it. And it's also hella expensive, so I just want to get more use out of it before I do away with it. The same goes for this. This is currently in my February makeup capsule, and this is one of those products that is much maligned. People do not like this. This is a product that the general consensus is that people don't like this. I am of mixed feelings. Kind of like the Chanel one. I kind of love it. I kind of don't. It just depends. Like, I like it when I apply it over certain things, but not other things. I prefer it with my fingers and not a blush. It's hella pigmented, but it also can get a little patchy. I don't know. It's one of those products. It's just like, it's an enigma, and I'm using it in my February makeup capsule now because I want to get more use out of it, because I want to know how I truly feel about it. So this is going to be staying because it's in this month's capsule, but after that, come my mid-year declutter, we will know if this will be sticking around. But it is the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Blush in the shade Coastline. The shade of this, though, is Chef's Kiss stunning. And next up I have, and this is not a blush, but I use it as a blush, so I put it in my blush category, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Glow Glide Face Architect Highlighter, and I have it in the shade Rose Gold Glow. Looks like this. And for me, this is a glowy rosy blush. Like, I use this as a blush. It's too dark for me as a highlighter, but it works really well as a really nice blush or blush topper. So if you're wearing, you know, this will look really beautiful over a couple of the like more like over Desert Orchid, which already has its own shimmer, or over Paradise Venus. This would look really good over that new NYX one that I have. Thinking about that, that's a nice combo. Like, this is one of those things I feel like it can pair really well with other things, or you can wear it on its own, because it does, if you have a certain skin tone, it has some pigment to it, so it can function as a blush quite well. And this is one of the newer items in my collection, so it's not going anywhere. I think it's beautiful. I like it. So as you can see, I didn't declutter a ton of my blushes, but I wasn't really planning on it. I kind of knew what was going to be on its way out. Let's now get into highlighters, and this is another one where I feel like I'm going to be, oh wait, I almost forgot. This always happens to me. I always forget. I have my Cover FX. So I have my 3 Cover FX blushes here. I have the shade Sweet Mulberry, Soft Peach, and Warm Honey. These are all staying. They're not going anywhere. These are some of my fave powder blushes. I'm not getting rid of them. So that's probably one of the reasons why I forgot, because they were over here and I just knew they weren't going anywhere. But I'm gonna mention. Now let's get into highlighters. All of my highlighters. I have a lot. Did I pull everything out? Did I pull from my... Yeah, I did. I was just making sure I grabbed from my capsule, but I did. Yeah, it's here. Okay, so let's start off with the MAC highlighters. So I have 2 MAC highlighters here. I have the Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Oh Darling and the Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Snow Flush. These are old. These are from one of their holiday collections. If I can open this, that would be awesome. Hold on, hold please, hold. Oh no. Come on, man. Okay. There we go. So this is Oh Darling. She's gold. She's got a cute little, you know, bow and ribbon motif. And then I have Snow Flush, and she is the one that I believe is it was originally an eyeshadow called Merrily, I believe, and it was very popular and people were loving it as both a eyeshadow and a highlight, and so they made it as a highlighter as well, and they renamed it Snow Flushed. So if you have Merrily, you have this. Yeah, I have a big pan of this, and I don't use this one as much. And you want to know why, guys? Because I actually have a MAC face palette, and we're going to do face palettes. I might throw the face palettes in this video because I don't have a ton of them. So maybe at the end of this video we'll do face palettes, but I actually have a MAC face palette that has this in it, and I reach for that one more if I'm using that. If I'm looking for Snow Flush, that's what I would use. So I haven't used this one a ton. I have gotten some use out of it, but I don't want to get rid of it. Look how pretty it is. So I think I'm going to keep this. But I am going to get rid of Oh Darling, because the Oh Darling for me is it's just a gold glittery highlighter, and it's not my jam anymore, you know? So this one is going to go. Next up let's do my Becca's, because these aren't going anywhere. So I bought these just when Becca announced that they were going out of business, and they all went on sale, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll finally buy some Becca highlighters. So this is Lilac Geode. Looks like this. And then I have, let's close that so you're not being blinded. And then I have, what's this one called? Own Your Light. I love both of these. They're stunning, and I will be keeping them, and I'm glad I got them on sale because, yeah, you know, I was never like that into Becca, but I was like, well, if this is, you know, now or never to try one of their highlighter formulas, so I'm glad I got those. This is Milani's Flashing Light in Hypnotic Lights. This was one of my favorite highlighters of all time. It still kind of is. I still love this. I will be keeping it. It's beautiful. This is old. This is from the Disney Villains collection from ColourPop, and this is the Hades, Everybody's Got a Weakness. I had 2 of these because that's how obsessed with it I was. Look how stunning that is. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. I haven't used this in ages, but I can't. You know what I can though? And this is gonna blow some minds. I can get rid of this. This is the ABHM Reezy highlighter. I'm gonna be controversial, guys. I'm gonna say some things here that I'm sure are gonna hurt some people's feelings, but this is an overrated highlighter. Everybody raved about it. Oh my god, it's so beautiful, it's so amazing, it's and so I bought it and I was like, okay, I bought it. I'm like, I am ready to be amazed. This is just a really pretty champagne gold highlighter, guys. There's nothing special about this, and I barely reached for it when I purchased it, and I've barely reached for it since, and it's just been sitting there, and it can go. It can go. What also can go is this. I have 2 Dose of Colors highlighters. I have the shade Melonade, which is this one, which I absolutely love. It's a little dark for me, but not once you swatch it out. It kind of, as you can see, it has that really beautiful red, pinky highlight that I love so much. So this one will be staying. This one I think is gonna go. This is Milk and Honey, and it's very light. As you can see, it is really light. Too light for me. It just kind of gives me like, I mean, it's almost the same as the Amrezy, but just like slightly cooler. I don't reach for this one, and these are kind of old, and I don't feel like I need both, so I think I'm gonna get rid of Milk and Honey, or I am gonna get rid of Milk and Honey. This Too Faced teddy bear thingy, I bought this on a whim. I just took a chunk out with my nail when I was grabbing everything, so I'm kind of bummed about that. I'm gonna keep this. The issue is that I haven't used it, and I want to use it because it's actually really beautiful. I just never reach for it. This is what it looks like. How pretty is that? And this is, they say it's a bronzer, but for me, they say Bare It All bronzer and Honey Bun Glow. This is a highlighter. It's a highlighter, and I'm going to use it as a highlighter, and yeah, I'm going to keep that. And I think I'm going to throw this in a capsule so I can get some use out of it. All right, I'm getting highlighter everywhere. Next up is my Tom Ford Sheer Highlighting Duo and Reflex Gilt, or Reflex Gilt. This is what it looks like. Not a big fan of that shade. Like this shade. Again, this is another sort of like nondescript tone. It just does the job, you know. There's nothing special about it as far as that, but it just gives you that like overall basic, simple glow that you sometimes want, where you just want glow. You don't want any bells and whistles. This is what this gives for me, and I enjoy it. Do you need it? Is it overpriced? Yes, but it does do the job. Another one that does the job, a very similar job, but just a little bit, probably a little bit lighter, a little bit cooler, is the LH Cosmetics Infinity Highlighter. It looks like this. And as you can see, and I'll show you. This one is a little bit warmer than Milk and Honey, but they kind of do the same thing. So let me swatch this one. What I like about this one though is that it's more finely milled. So the shimmer, as you can see, the shimmer of it is just softer. It's just a softer glow than Milk and Honey. It's just, which is much harsher, do you see? So this I'm gonna keep, getting rid of Milk and Honey. But I just wanted to sort of show you guys what I meant by that sort of like generalized glow that both of them give, but Milk and Honey's just got, there's something about it that's just a little too cool tone, too yellow in tone for my skin tone. My 2 Ofras, I'm gonna get rid of one of these. I've had this forever. This is to be one of my faves, and this is Cloud 9. This is the one that from the Nikki Tutorials collab, and this was one of the first highlighters I bought that had that like pink glow. But I have other highlighters that do that, and honestly that I feel do it better, because this one has that white base that doesn't look the best on deeper skin tones. So I'm gonna get rid of Cloud 9. Shocking myself with that one. I'm gonna get rid of it. What I will be keeping is Bali, because Bali I actually really love, and I haven't used this in ages. I don't use Ofra on my channel much, but this is one that used to be one of my all-time favorite highlighters, and this is why. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna allow myself to keep that one, but I am gonna get rid of Cloud 9. Got tissue and highlighter everywhere. All right, Next up is this ColourPop highlighter, and this is in the shade, this is a Super Shock Cheek and Pearlized in Showtime. And this is, oh, this is still really good. This is what I mean, because this is very similar to Cloud9. So look at that. It gives the same glow, but it doesn't have that overly white base. It's still got a lighter base, of course, because the base is light, but it just doesn't have as much of a white undertone as Cloud9 does, and it's the same type of shade. So I'd honestly rather keep the ColourPop one than that one. Let's see what else we've got here. Prophecy Kaleidos, one of my all-time favorite highlighters. This is, I mean, it's just, I can't. I'm keeping it. I love it. Solar Sailor. Okay, this is another one. And you'll see, so this is Solar Sailor. I have so much highlighter on my hand. And where's the other one? This is Give Me Glow Halo. Oh my God. Oh, this is intense. Look at this. So, these basically do the same thing, but do you see how intense the Give Me Glow is? And this is the Solar Sailor. I like them both, and I've kept them both, and I don't want to get rid of either one, but they kind of do the same thing. And I don't know, guys. I feel like the Comet Catcher is, or Solar Sailor, excuse me, is more flattering for me, but I like the intensity of the Give Me Glow. Like, it definitely has a wider base. You can even see, like, the base is just like, it's thicker. It's a thicker formula. You can even see it on my hands. It's just a thicker formula. This is it here, and this is the Solar Sailor. You can just see it. And I'm gonna have to think on this, because I love them both. But I know I don't need both, but I love them both. So I'm gonna think on that. Next up is my NYX High Glass finishing powder. Now this is a finishing powder, and this is in the shade medium, but it's got a lot of glow to it, and I honestly just use this like as like strategic highlighter. Use the palm of my hand. I don't know if you can even, if the camera's even picking that up, but it's do you see that glow? It's beautiful. But I use this more. I used to put this all over my face back in the day. Now I just use it as like strategic finishing powder in places I want extra glow. How stunning is that? Oh, they discontinued this, and I don't know why. It's one of their best like complexion products. It's beautiful. Next up is my About Face Beauty Light Lock Powder, and this is in the shade Light Spun. I was obsessed with this during the summer, and I probably will be obsessed with it again during the summer. It's super dark, but for some reason on me, it just works. It looks like it's going to be too dark for me, but it just gives me something on my face, especially when my skin is a little bit warmer in the summer. We get along, me and this powder, so I will be keeping it. I have my Colored Rain in Your Treat. This is another one that kind of looks like it would be too dark for me, but I love the way it looks on my skin. If I can get it open, there we go. So this is Your Treat. It's super dark, but it's beautiful. Na, 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 na. I use this sparingly, but I do use it, and it's beautiful. I feel like I want to use this for a couple more, like keep it in my collection for a little bit, see if I want to throw it in a capsule. If I don't get any more use out of it, at least by the end of the year, I probably will declutter it. But as you can see, it's got a lot in common with the Light Spun. It's just this one is has a little bit more of a warm orange undertone, and this one's more got like more of a like yellow undertone. But they're both so beautiful. What did I get on here? So this is my Rare Beauty. This is one of the newer highlighters to my collection, if not the newest. This is the shade Flaunt. This is the, what do they call this? The Silky Touch. This is the Silky Touch and Flaunt. Beautiful. It is something that you kind of have to use strategically as well, I feel like. As you can see, it's actually in the same vein, but just way brighter than both of those. You have to be really strategic with this because it can pick up a lot of texture if you apply too much or you use the wrong blush. So yeah, I use this strategically, but I do really enjoy it. Next up are my Pat McGraths. So I have my first one here, which is the Divine Rose, the Skin Fetish Ultra Glow Highlighter in Divine Rose. I'm running out of space to swatch. Can you see that? How pretty. I love her. She's so pretty. This looks so good on the skin. This is such a fantastic formula. Obsessed. This is Venus Nectar, and this is what's in my current capsule. And I don't have a clean, I use my thumb. This is Venus Nectar. Can you see how smooth and silky that looks on my finger? Look at that. Look at that. That translates to the skin. So this is Venus Nectar. Again, it's kind of got that gold, but it's also got a little bit of peach to it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. I then have my last Pat McGrath, probably the first one I bought, and this is this little duo here, and this is the one in golden, and I think I'm going to declutter this, guys. I'd held on to it and held on to it, but I just don't use it. I don't particularly love the formula, and I don't necessarily think I like the shade. Like, this is supposed to be one of the shades for deeper skin tones, but I just feel like it's a little too yellow. Like, look how gold that is. I'm not a fan. And then this side has the balm, which I've never used. So I think I'm getting stuff all over. I think I'm going to declutter this because I don't use it. I don't reach for it. And last, I have my 2 Ritual Defee. And I already know what I'm getting rid of, guys. I'm going to keep my baby Chimera because, I mean, Chimera is the one that's green. I'm not going to swatch it. Well, I guess I can. I need my fingers, and my hands are like so dirty right now. So this one is the one that is green. I don't know if the light is picking that up, but it's a green highlighter. Beautiful. Phosphine, I wanted to love, but I just don't think the shade is right for me. I think the issue is the shade. And I don't know. I think I need to try a different, if I want to try this formula on, I need to try a different shade. This one just doesn't pick up somewhere. And I don't even know if I like this formula all that much. Like, it feels different from Chimera. Chimera feels a little bit more creamy. This one feels kind of, I don't know. The textures feel different to me. And maybe that's just because of the pigment. But you see what I mean? How I kind of like, I don't love that. And this is the shade. And I just don't think the shade does anything for me. So I think I'm gonna finally do away with this. Alright guys, I am covered in highlighter, but those are all the highlighters that I am decluttering. I've decluttered, let's see here. I'm going to put everything that I've decluttered. I'm going to wash my hands and I'm going to put everything that I decluttered in the center, and we can then do my face palettes. Alright guys, so this is everything that I have decluttered for highlighters, blushes, and bronzers. A modest declutter, but at the same time, oh, I still have that. This is Chimera and it's like not going anywhere. I feel like this, I'm happy with this. I'm satisfied with how much I decluttered because I'm happy with what's left behind. But yeah, for me, I kind of knew with this category what was going to go bye-bye. So for me, this is sort of like, yeah, that's about right. All right, let's go into face palettes. And this is going to be super quick and easy because, bam, there they are. These are my 2 face palettes. I did a face palette declutter some time ago, and so I don't have a lot of face palettes anymore. I used to have a decent amount, and I just came to the conclusion, the epiphany that, hey, yo, whoa, why do you own all of these? Because you never reach for them. I feel like face palettes are those things that we always wind up regretting purchasing. These 2, on the other hand, are 2 that I kept because I do actually really, really like them. This one, I hate this one because it gathers dust, and I like clean it off, and then it just, because it's like that texture. Ugh. Anyway. So this is the MAC one, and this is from Holiday. I don't even remember, but I love this. This is the bronzer. This is technically a bronzer, but I use it as like a bronzer slash blush. Here is, do these look familiar? Does this look familiar to you? And even this one, which I believe is Oh Darling, just renamed. So this is Snow Flushed. This I believe is Oh Darling, which is why I was okay with getting rid of Oh Darling. And this is the only two new shades in this, or newer shades in this palette. And I love this palette and I'm not getting rid of it. So there's that. Hey baby. You wanna go? Oh, what a sad little meow. Oh, okay. Hi. Can I finish? No? I'm in the middle of something. Thank you. He wants to leave. Maybe I'll let him out. Hold on a second. Bye-bye. There you go. Okay. And then this palette. You guys have seen this palette a million times. I was originally trying to pan this bronzer, which I think I did a fairly decent job. It's just, I ran out of time, guys. I ran out of time trying to pan it by the end of the year. I think I eventually will pan it because it's something that I do enjoy using. But I also kind of want to pan these two because I love them. I love Drop It Like It's Hot. Love this shade so much. These highlighters, they're okay. Starlight is pretty decent. I don't really reach for this one. If I used any of the highlighters, it would probably be that one. This pink, I don't use a ton, but it does come in handy, like in the clutch. When you want a pink, this is what I reach for. So yeah, I like this palette too. I'm not getting rid of it. And so I feel okay with having two face palettes. Like, I think that's reasonable, you know? So yeah. All right, guys. So that was video number 2 in my declutter series. The next one will probably be probably lipsticks, and that one's gonna be a bit of a doozy because I have to go through all my Pat McGrath lipsticks, and if you saw my Pat McGrath lipstick video, then you know what that means. And there's some that I already know that I've swatched that have gone bad and that I'm really sad about. So that one's going to be a really emotional one for me. So yeah, if you're looking forward to seeing me be emotionally torn apart by having to declutter some of my Pat McGrath lipsticks, stay tuned. I will see you in the next one. Bye now.